Hello, welcome to Assassin's Creed Unity After the Bell. I've battled my way through Ubisoft's latest instalment of the Assassin's Creed franchise, and I'm in a position to give Unity its final After the Bell grading. So, where do I start with Unity? As I mentioned in Before the Bell, the free running and combat mechanics is probably the best that the series has had to offer. The only drawback of the combat is that the camera does its best to sort of cause you issues, and the enemies will often come from off screen to land a killer blow on you. Perhaps the combat prompts should take a leaf out of the Batman series and have these over your character's head. And that's only a minor gripe, it's just a way of perhaps designing it in the future I think would be good. The side quests are in the form of parish stories, and they offer a great diversion from the story missions. They're well structured and offer some diversity there, which is good to see. The online co-op is okay, it's good, but unless you're playing with a friend, you're always going to be at the peril of the online community, so it does depend who you're partnering up with. About 2/3 of the main story missions are actually pretty good. They offer variety, and the big assassination missions actually have a structure and offer various ways to complete them. Now, you obviously only have one target, but you can complete mini quests that might offer you keys to locked doors to make your job easier, distraction opportunities, or support from disgruntled locals. And it's great for the most part, because it certainly is the best that the franchise had to offer in terms of assassination missions. You can take things out in a different way, and you can use the tools around you, or you can not. So you're going to have different ways that you can approach these, which is good. Speaking of the story itself, it's decent. I think it's actually pretty good. The main point is that it doesn't mess around with the current day antics, which is a big plus for me, because I feel like that part of the arc was getting out of hand. Having the story pretty much streamlined, set in Paris, and following Arnaud through his story definitely plays into Unity's hands. And that's where Unity's positives stop, unfortunately. The rest of the game is a bit of a sham, if I'm totally honest. The load times are utterly horrendous. So I actually thought I was firing up my old Commodore 64 when I first tried to get into the game. It takes so long to boot up. It's an utter rage to get the thing going. Fast travelling. No, not fast travelling at all. It should be called slug travelling, because it takes fucking ages to get moving on that. And when you die on a mission, it's annoying to start with, so you're frustrated, but you're left twiddling your thumbs for ages waiting to respawn. And it's poor. And maybe we've been spoilt by quicker load times, but I just expect a lot better out of these new consoles, to be honest. It's clearly not optimised the way it should have been. Now, as I mentioned, about 2/3 of the missions are quality, but there's a handful where it's nothing but frustrating. These are towards the end of the game. As with most of your tasks, you have to infiltrate, like an assassination mission. You have to infiltrate a certain area. So this could be a castle, a base, or perhaps a mansion. Now, there's usually only a couple of ways to get in, and trying to get in undetected isn't easy because of the sheer amount of guards. As I said before the bell, they're not intelligent, but it's just the numbers that will get you down. Once you've finally found a way to get in, you've then got to identify a target. Now again, these map areas are quite big, and it's not easy, and you can spend 15 minutes just getting to this stage. So it's utterly frustrating when you get inside and that Arnaud decides to control like it's fucking Octodad. It makes it very difficult to stay hidden, and he's very, very clumsy when he gets indoors. I don't know what they're playing at there. Not only that, I had one instance where the target, I was hiding behind the door, saw me through the door, and I was then savaged by 10 guards and killed. Not the end of the world, you'd think. Oh wait, no, there's actually no checkpoints when you actually enter and infiltrate the area, so you're actually bumped back outside the infiltration area and got to then work your way in again. So I've got to then spend another 15 minutes trying to get into the place. To me, that's terrible design. I don't want the games to be easy, I don't want them to be just a breeze through, but when you spend 15 minutes of stealth just trying to get into a place, it should checkpoint then. It's not good. And I've even had instances where I've killed the target and then died on my escape because all the normal exits that I've just come in locked magically, and after dying, I've then got to go back and do the whole lot again. That is very, very tedious, and as the difficulty cranks up, it just becomes a bit of a joke, really. There's bugs and glitches, and they become more and more obvious as you play. NPCs pop in, textures don't load, people just randomly disappear. It's all basic stuff, and it takes you out of the game itself. The cutscenes have them too. Every time the camera cuts to a new angle, sort of the loose bits on the character's clothing flap up and down as though they've been held up and down and dropped. It's so bloody sloppy. I won't spoil anything, but the last target on the campaign mission was even glitched, and that is totally not good at all. It's pathetic, really. Other small gripes, despite it's set in Paris, everyone's got an English accent. All the sound effects are the same they've been for the last 5 years. The database is still in text. There's loads of information there, and it's probably I'd enjoy to get some of this information, but I sod sitting there reading it. They need to take a page out of Mass Effect and have this stuff narrated. There's enough power on these consoles to have this put in now, and it's just very frustrating overall, the game. I mean, all in all, the few positives that Unity offers are heavily hampered and flushed away by the array of negative issues. It's a step back from Black Flag in most ways, but do you know what annoys me the most? Is that most of the negative stuff and the negative points of raise are probably avoidable. However, because Ubisoft want a game out every year, every November they want an Assassin's Creed out, and the development team clearly had no option but to release this game unfinished and unpolished. If the game was bad, I'd accept that, but it's clearly been rushed to meet these deadlines. And for me, having a game released in this state, and even after it's patched up, it's still a state, just because it needs to meet a deadline, is totally unacceptable. Assassin's Creed Unity's official After the Bell grading is ungraded. Thanks for your time, and ta-ra.